war. I can basically locate all the wars, all the civil wars, all the ethnic cleansing, all the genocide, all the mass rape as a tool of terror, all the children lured or forced into combat activity, all the UN peacekeeping missions, all 8, I count Iraq as 3, 1 good, 1 bad, 1 ugly, US nation building missions, all of it inside that shape, 95% of the terrorism inside that shape. People ask about the influence of these ideas. They say it's not a matter of influence, it's a matter of accuracy. Here's a typical presentation from the Office of Secretary of Defense. Familiar shape, they like to call it the arc of instability. Why? I guess it sells better. Here's a Canadian version. They're sort of the cool Americans. I like them better. They just call it the non-integrating gap. Why? When they looked around where they went for the last 16 years, it turned out they went where we went. Why? Because they go to the same failed states, same problems. I think a grand strategy comes out of that picture. Here's 3 prongs. First, you've got to work across the core to mitigate and withstand problems like 9/11. I define a crisis as a vertical shock to a horizontally networked system. You've got to get better at handling that. Second, I think you will have to firewall the core off from the gap's worst exports, like pandemics, drugs, terror. We're watching this now with avian flu. But you're going to have to keep those borders open because you're going to age demographically across the core. Most of the babies are going to be born inside the gap. And you're going to have to shrink that gap over time because danger respects no borders. My argument is you need 2 different forces to do it. One force we already have, the first half force, the warfighter, the regime changer. That one I call the Leviathan, an unparalleled capacity to wage war and decide when other countries wage war. The second force we do not have. They're trying to build it in Leavenworth and Quantico. The second half force, the nation builder, the crisis responder, the humanitarian reliever. That force I dub the sysadmin force. Why? It's going to be more civilian than uniform. It's going to be more US government than DOD. It's going to be more private sector funded than public sector funded. It's going to be driven by events in the rest of the world more than what the United States could pull off unilaterally. These 2 different forces, 2 different functions. The Leviathan will work with traditional partners. They will all look suspiciously like the Brits in their former colonies. The sysadmin has to work with everybody. The Leviathan's all about jointness, military services cooperating. The sysadmin's all about interagency, okay? Which means today what jointness meant 16 years ago when I got into the defense business. Basically the t-shirt with the arrow saying, I'm with stupid. The Leviathan, in terms of personnel, I like them young, male, unmarried, slightly pissed off. Which if you think about it, you can almost see the poster, Uncle Sam, I want you to be a congressional page.